I think it had to do with mornings in April and afternoons in June. That sun that shines makes everything look so fine, and you look very nice in blue, awfully handsome in blue. And I want so much to talk with you, but every time I try, my heart jumps to my throat. And I am afraid my words will sound so foolish, and I'm scared away by my doubt. I shake my head in doubt, but it don't matter how much I feel with it. My heart is in a bind, and it won't make a difference if I won't admit it. I can't erase you from my mind.
Well, hello, everybody. I am Olivia with Ignitum today, and I am so excited to have with me Alanna-Marie Boudreau. Alanna is a wonderfully talented singer-songwriter who just so happens to also be passionate about her Catholic faith. And her newest album, which is entitled Hints and Guesses, just dropped last week, and she's already enjoyed some great attention from iTunes in the singer-songwriter category. So, Alanna, thanks so much for chatting with me today.
Of course, it's good to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Of course. Now, you have such a unique sound, and so many people are drawn to your music because of your powerful voice and creative lyrics. And I think that's something that a lot of music, unfortunately, is lacking today, just that creativity and the profound message, even in simple lyrics. So I know a lot of people would love to learn a bit more about you and your musical process. So to start, would you mind to tell us a little bit about your life background?
Sure. I would love to. First of all, thank you so much for saying all the sweet things. It's very nice of you. I'm so glad you like the music. So I am the youngest of 5, and my parents they're actually both Canadians, and they met in college over music, so they're both musical people. And after they got married, they moved to the States, and they had all 5 of my siblings and I. And we grew up with a lot of music surrounding our childhood. You know, Mom and Dad were in a band together when we were little, and so when they weren't rehearsing in our home, there was always music playing in the background, whether it was John Denver or Billy Joel or Eric Clapton or Paul Simon, all of these wonderful folky lyrical artists. It was just always the backdrop of very peaceful childhood memories. And another thing, we were all homeschooled, and my parents really encouraged us to explore the arts. And we all took classical piano from a young age, and then, you know, a lot of us picked up other instruments when we became teenagers. But I think the exposure to good literature and good art from a very young age really impacted my siblings and I. And it really kind of allowed the creative dam to be broken inside of me, and I was gifted with a lot of quiet time and a lot of time for reflection, and just exposed, like I said, to a wonderful curriculum and education. So I think all those things, my parents being musical, a great education, those sort of formed my love for beauty and music and art. So, yeah.
That is so wonderful. Now I want to ask you a question that I like to ask a lot of people, because I think it can give us some insight into, you know, your personality and what you love. So I would love it if you would describe for us your perfect Saturday. Okay, you have the whole day to do whatever you want with whomever you wish. And I mean, I want you to tell us what season you're in, who you're with, what you're doing. No detail is too small. So what does your perfect Saturday look like?
Oh, this is actually one of my favorite questions. I love thinking about this. So a perfect Saturday would be, I'd wake up early. I'm kind of an early bird, so I would wake up very early before anybody else, and it would be probably mid-spring. So the air would smell very sweet and fertile, and kind of that sweet after the rain sort of smell. And like I said, I'd be the first person awake, so I'd go down to the kitchen and make some French press coffee. And then I would take my Liturgy of the Hours and head outside and with my French press coffee and just sit there for prayer, offer the day to God, and hopefully see the sunrise. And I love the idea. The early morning's one of my favorite times of the day, so I would savor that. Then I go inside, and all the people I love most would hopefully be around. Like my sister would probably have woken up by then, and her husband Timothy would be coming down the stairs too, and we'd make breakfast. I'd probably put on the Dan in Real Life soundtrack. I really love that soundtrack. So we put that on, and we'd just enjoy breakfast together, enjoy each other. And then after that, I love spontaneity, and I'm not a very structured person or a planner, but I love it when other people kind of come up with an idea, and I'll definitely go for it. But I would hope that mountains and water would be involved in the perfect Saturday, maybe both. Like hiking in the mountains. The Colorado mountains are incredible. The San Juan Mountains, that would be neat, and kayaking would be fantastic. Another element, since the sky is the limit and I can kind of really use my imagination, would be exploring a city. I love farmers markets or little bookshops or little boutiques with lots of hats that you can try on. I would never buy one because I feel so self-conscious wearing hats. I don't know why. But and trying ethnic food. I love trying ethnic food, so that would be involved. And then like buy some food, go back home, make dinner with friends, listen to some Paul Simon, drink a cucumber Collins, which is my favorite drink, and just relax with people outside enjoying food. And afterward, hopefully there'd be like a concert involved, like whether it was the symphony or the Weepies, which are one of my favorite folk bands, or Simon and Garfunkel reunited. That would be fantastic. And end it all with like a late night jam session with everybody back at the house and a bonfire. I know that's kind of like a long-winded answer, but and there'd be tons of other little elements, but those would be some essential things that I'd love to see in an ideal Saturday. So.
Oh, that's wonderful. Your perfect Saturday sounds like a pretty perfect Saturday to me too.
Yeah, so thanks.
Now, what's in a cucumber Collins? I've never heard of that before.
Well, my friend Perry, when I was in Colorado, in Denver, suggested I try it. I think it's got gin in it. I'm not very good with mixed drinks, Olivia. It's very refreshing. It's got like muddled cucumber, and I think there might be some mint involved. It's light, but it's a really nice drink. It's not too sweet. It's just refreshing, so. But it's based off of the Tom Collins, which is a popular drink. I'm sure somebody who knows more about these things would be able to tell you.
Excellent. No, that's what I was going to say. It sounds so refreshing and sophisticated.
Something like that. It's really good.
Awesome. Now, Alanna, let's jump into your music. You mentioned earlier that you grew up around music. Your parents were musicians. Music was always a big part of your life, always in your household. Mm-hmm. How did you get started in music? Or to rephrase it, what really sparked your interest? I know you've always had a love for music, but was there any one thing or one event that you look back on and you say, that was the moment that I really decided that this was going to be a bigger part of my life?
Like I said, like from when I was little, I took classical piano, and I remember I always really appreciated the beauty and the value of the piano, but it wasn't until I was probably like 14 or 15 that I started to take this personal investment in the beauty of the music, and that's when I picked up the guitar, and I really wasn't expecting the gift of being able to write songs. Like that was totally out of the blue, and it actually kind of happened accidentally. I was sitting at the dining room table strumming the guitar and actually singing aloud the words of a Reader's Digest article to my sister to make her laugh, when I suddenly realized that the melody was really beautiful. And so I ran up to my room and shut the door, and these lyrics just came forth like within 10 or 15 minutes. I had a song, the first song I'd written, and it was fairly dramatic, like the lyrics, and I didn't really know where they came from. But it was just a sudden descent and this creative movement, and then it was there. And after that, a lot of songs started coming. So I'm not sure exactly what it was that initiated that movement or that change, but it was just kind of like a gift that just happened. I think I just started to become more sensitive to myself and to the world around me at that point in my life, and that's when it kind of came, you know. So.
Oh yeah. That's absolutely amazing. Now, Alanna, for somebody who is watching and reading and who may have not had the privilege of listening to your music before, how would you describe your sound?
This is a difficult question because a lot of people ask that. I think the safest bet is to say it's singer-songwriter because it's very lyrical and words are so important to me. But it does kind of, I mean, it's hard to describe. There's like these different genres, I guess you could say, that kind of come into play almost because there's different parts of myself that are being expressed, and no part feels less sincere than another, you know, in the different sounds you'll hear on the album or the EP. But I guess singer-songwriter, indie, folk, pop, you could call it. Jazz, there's some jazz in there. There's some rhythm and blues. So it's kind of a collection, but I guess it fits under the umbrella of singer-songwriter best. Yeah.
Excellent. And Alanna, do you have any musical idols? Anybody that you look up to in terms of either for, you know, vocally or lyrically or the whole shebang?
I do. I definitely do. I have always loved Paul Simon. Paul Simon is huge. Simon and Garfunkel, but Paul Simon is one of my favorites. I also love Billy Joel. Lyrically and musically, he's so interesting, and he is a genius. The way that it's just such a broad spectrum of creativity. I also love Eric Clapton. John Denver is a beautiful folk artist. His lyrics he has a way of capturing sentiments so perfectly. Nora Jones, I'm a big fan of her. I also love Ingrid Michaelson. I really admire. She has some very interesting lyrics, and her voice is beautiful and pure and simple. So I admire her quite a lot. And Eva Cassidy, she was an artist who was she was kind of popular in the 90s, and then she passed away, and then she kind of was rediscovered after that. Incredible, incredible voice. Just so sincere in her singing. And I love the Weepies, like I mentioned earlier. They're a husband and wife duo, folk band, really awesome. And I mean, there's a number of other ones, but those are the first ones that come to mind. So, yeah.
That's
and
excellent.
Ben Harper. Ben Harper is great. Yeah. So.
Absolutely. And you actually remind me of everybody that you mentioned in the way that your voice is so recognizable because it is so distinct and unique. I mean, as soon as you flip on an Ingrid song or a Nora song, you know who's singing to you right away. And I feel the same way as soon as one of your songs comes on. You know, I think the same thing. I'm like, oh, that's Alanna, of course.
Thank you, Olivia. That's a big compliment. Thank you.
It's true. Now, Alanna, I wouldn't necessarily categorize you as a strictly Christian musician, and I don't think you'd put yourself in that category either. Like you said, it's more singer-songwriter. But how does your faith influence your music?
Well, like you said, I wouldn't categorize myself as a Christian artist either, because in some ways I feel that labeling oneself as such almost nullifies the what you're trying to do. In a sense, it makes it less palatable to many people, and it almost makes it like a selling point. And I'm not interested in selling Christianity. What I'm interested in is loving people and building bridges to them, because I know I can't convert anybody. That's God's doing, but I can love them and listen to them, and I can give myself to them in an act of self-gift like God's given himself to me. And that, if anything, is what's going to maybe lead them to ask the big question. So I think it's kind of, I mean, I don't want to compare myself to Tolkien because I feel like that would be insulting to him, but I think I have a similar desire that he had, in that I really want to engage people with an encounter of mystery and paradox and light and darkness and suffering and triumph and life and death, and hopefully be a question mark to them, or be maybe even better, like a signpost to them that says there is something more than the here and now. There's something greater and bigger, and maybe in giving them an encounter with beauty, they'll see that there's an invitation written within the beauty, and that, like I said, will raise them to ask the difficult questions and to believe that forgiveness is a reality, grace is a reality, love is a reality. So I hope that answers the question.
It does, and it's so lovely, and I could not agree more. And knowing your music and having listened to your music often, I think you hit the nail on the head, and you're absolutely right. Exposing people to beauty will eventually lead them to start asking the big questions, like you said, and hopefully, through the grace of God, through His working, will be led to His church, which is just amazing, amazing.
Right. Yeah.
Now, I would love to know a little bit about your writing process. Do you set aside a time and say, okay, I'm going to sit down and write? Or do you just kind of write whenever you're inspired? And do you usually come up with melodies or lyrics first?
It's a question a lot of people are curious about, and it's funny because I actually don't set aside or allot time to write songs. It's generally, I'll just sit down with the guitar and start playing something on it, and then simultaneously melody and lyrics will come together, and the song usually is written within 20 or 30 minutes, or at least the main idea of the song is just done. And it's always a surprise to me. It's not something I can force, and usually, well, actually every time it's happened, like it comes and then it goes, and I wonder if it'll happen again. So it's like this really sudden descent, creative movement, and then it's gone. So that's kind of kept me mindful of the fact that it's a gift. I mean, my songwriting has developed and changed because I think I've learned more about music in general, about myself and about God and about life. It's an ongoing process, so it has evolved, but it's always kind of out of my control at the same time. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Now, like I mentioned in the beginning, you just released a new album called Hints and Guesses. I love that title. And on its release date, it ranked within the top 30 of the singer-songwriter category on iTunes. That is amazing.
Thanks. Yeah, it was exciting. I was surprised to see that. It was cool. So.
Oh, yeah. So would you mind to tell us a little bit about what your inspiration was behind this new album?
Sure, yeah. Most of the songs were written within the last year and a half of my life. A few of them are older, like maybe 5 or 6 years old, but most of them are written in the last year based off of experiences. So many of the songs are pretty autobiographical in a sense. They're pretty transparent, and that's part of what the joy is in sharing them. But another thing that's influenced me is the literature that I've really steeped myself in the past few years. Just to name a few of those authors who I am totally indebted to would be C.S. Lewis, T.S. Eliot, Wojtyła, Rilke, the poet Rilke, who was actually very inspirational for Karol Wojtyła, now Pope St. John Paul II. Another one would be von Hildebrand. Joseph Pieper is huge for me, another philosopher. Some of Kierkegaard's works really affected me. And finally, there's one more name that is on the tip of my tongue that I need to be, Von, what is it, Olivia? Von, he wrote Heart of the World. I'll have to get back to you on that one. I'll remember it like in the next 2 minutes. It'll be on the tip of my tongue.
Oh, yeah, you just let us know. If not, then myself and our listeners, we can just go Google the Heart of the World, and I'm sure it'll pop up for us.
I can't believe that I'm blanking on it, but yeah. So, but yeah, those authors and their works have had a huge impact on my my intellectual life, and the beauty that I've been exposed to, in the things that they've written, really has found its way, I think, into my songwriting. It's just inspired me in many ways. So yeah, life experience and really good literature, I think, has had a lot to do with the songs that you hear. Mm-hmm.
That is so wonderful. Now, speaking of the songs, do you have a favorite song on the new album?
I struggle with the favorite question. I don't think I can say that I have a favorite one because, like I said earlier, the songs sort of portray different rooms in my heart or different experiences, and they're very different, but all of those memories that they evoke are very valuable to me, each in their own way. So Yeah, I don't think I can say I have a favorite. I mean, they were very different in the studio. Each song had a different feeling, a different experience in producing it and creating it. But again, I don't think I could say that any one of them was better than the other. Like it was just such a beautiful, cohesive experience. So yeah, I think all of them kind of give you a different piece, a different thought, you know. So
Absolutely. And I know from listening to your new album, it really is like a puzzle, and each of the songs is a different piece. And it is just, when you listen to them all together, you see the whole picture, your whole heart, if you will. And it's just absolutely wonderful.
thank you so much, Olivia. That means a lot. Thank
Of
you.
course. Now, Alanna, are there any certain kind of emotions that you hope to evoke in your listeners through these songs? And do you think about that when you write the songs?
Certain kinds of emotions. Well, I think the first thing that comes to mind is I hope that when people hear these songs, they have a sense of the possibility of transfiguration and change. And I sense that to be vulnerable isn't to be weak, and to seek forgiveness is a very courageous thing, and to give forgiveness is a courageous thing. So I think that's the main thing, is I desire that people would be open to transfiguration, and that they'd be open to mystery. You know, that's what the Hints and Guesses is about. It's taken from T.S. Eliot's Four Quartets, about that sense of, even if you can't understand something that's paradoxical, that doesn't mean that it's contradictory, and that doesn't mean that you're committing intellectual suicide by embracing mystery. You know, it's that takes a very strong mind and a strong heart to embrace mystery and to delight in it. So I think, yeah, be open to transfiguration, be open to mystery and to beauty. You know, let it move you and change you. Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
so wonderful, and speaks again so clearly to Christianity, because our faith is mystery.
Right.
And I love what you said. You know, it's not intellectual suicide to believe in the mystery and to put stock into mystery. And it's
Mm-hmm.
actually a way of elevating our intellects
Yeah.
and being more human, being more of who we were created to be.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Now, what would you say is your ultimate goal with this album?
Ultimate goal. That's a hard question. I guess. Um, I mean, it's hard for me to make like 5 or 10-year plans, because I feel like becoming too fixated on the future doesn't help anybody. So the hope with this album is I would love to continue to do music. I would love to continue to write and create, and to travel with music. But I guess ultimately, I really do hope that this is inspiring and helpful for people. The music, that it's good, that it is an encounter with beauty for them. And I hope that I let myself be changed by doing music too, by other people. You know, I guess I hope that this album helps me become a better person, and that the music helps me become a better person, and that the people I encounter through it will teach me how to do that. And yeah, so I guess I'm hoping for growth. That's my ultimate goal, is growth in myself and in other people. Hopefully that's like not too obscure or up in the air kind of an answer, but it's the best I can come up with on the so that's
Oh
my
yeah, no, that's a wonderful answer, and I think that's a very admirable goal as well, and it kind of just reflects onto what we've been talking about this whole time, is the need for beauty, the longing for beauty, and what an influence beauty can have on
Mhm.
everyone as well, whether they be, the closest to God or the farthest away from God.
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
Absolutely. Now,
Yeah.
Lana, tell everybody where they can go to find out more about you and where they can find this new album that we've been chatting about.
Well, I have a new website, which is www.alanna-mariemusic.com, all one word. So you can definitely, if you log on there, you'd find email information, my YouTube links, Facebook page links, and I don't know if my WordPress blog is up there, but I also have a WordPress blog. And the album and the EP are available on iTunes and on Amazon. And I have an email account. I do read my emails every day, and I respond to them. So if anyone wanted to email with a question regarding music or anything else, it's alannamariemusic@gmail.com. So that's probably the best bet. I don't think I've forgotten anything. I might have, because I'm scatterbrained, but yeah. So,
No, that's excellent. AlannaMarieMusic.com, right?
yes. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Good, good. Well, thanks so much, Alanna, for taking time out of your busy day to chat with us. I'm so grateful for our readers to be able to be introduced to you.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Thanks for the opportunity, Olivia. It was a joy to talk with you. So thank you for that.
Of course. And thank you, readers, as always, for reading Ignutum today and for watching this video. Do yourself a favor today and go check out Hints and Guesses from Alanna-Marie Boudreau. You will not be disappointed, I promise you. We have it playing in our house all the time, all the time. And I hope you have a wonderful day. See ya.
Suddenly I feel something deeply unreal. I feel your eyes on me. Oh wow, oh golly gee, my heart's in ecstasy. It's truly bursting at its happy seams, yeah. It's truly bursting at its seams, and it don't matter how much I fiddle with it. My heart is in a bind, and it won't make a difference if I won't admit it. I can't erase you from my mind, no, no, no. I can't erase you from